Hey, what's going on, guys? This is a tribute video to Victor Cha. Victor Cha wrote the book, The Impossible State, and I believe this is the best book written on North Korea. I've said that before in previous videos, but Victor Cha served as Deputy Director of Asian Affairs in the National Security Council from 2004 to 2007 under President Bush administration, okay? And yes, President Bush did some things that I didn't agree with, but under President Bush administration, the human rights issue in North Korea was brought up, and President Bush was the very first U.S. administration to address the human rights issues in North Korea and the human rights abuses. And post-presidency, President Bush has a center in Texas called the Bush Center, and it largely focuses on the human rights abuses in certain countries, particularly North Korea as well as Cuba. Victor Cha, when he was Deputy Director of Asian Affairs in the National Security Council, he was responsible by himself for what the National Security Council would do in negotiations or their opinions on relations with Korea, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, the Pacific Island nations, and also he had to help put together the six-party talks, and the six-party talks was started under the Bush administration because the North Korea situation just doesn't affect the United States. So President Bush worked it out to where the U.S., North Korea, South Korea, Russia, China, and Japan would talk and negotiate some sort of settlement. And Victor Cha was largely responsible for a lot of that. So he said it was very long hours in the National Security Council, but it was also very enjoyable, and he said very, very rewarding. And Victor Cha has made an appearance on the Colbert Report. Colbert was more of the funny role, but as he always does. But then Victor Cha had a more serious role, and he seriously promoted his book. I don't see how they got it done in that, but they were able to, and it's a really good clip where Victor Cha goes on the Colbert Report to promote his book, The Impossible State. Also, President Bush, under his administration, the six-party talks had started, so other countries that were affected by North Korea were able to negotiate as well. And the human rights abuses in North Korea were brought up under the Bush administration as well. Now, President Obama continued that and didn't have to, and he didn't have anything to gain by doing that politically, but he did so. And it was highly approved by the general population in the United States, but a lot of left-leaning people, I'm not sure how they fared with North Korea at the time because it was more of a right-wing move that President Obama did. But in the end, a lot of left-wing people in the future started to support what President Obama was doing pretty quickly. So thumbs up to all you guys there. Anyways, highly encourage you guys to read The Impossible State. And also, Victor Cha talks about that the problem is not the United States, okay? The problem is North Korea is dead set on becoming a nuclear weapon state. And North Korea is a personality cult state. And the way North Korea had set things up, which they wrongly set it up, is that the state depends on the Kim family, or the Kim family is the state. And that's the difference between North Korea and China, why North Korea doesn't think they can make rational economic decisions versus China, they think they can make rational economic decisions. And where I got my information for this interview mostly was largely from Victor Cha's interview with a YouTube channel called Korea in the World. It's an excellent podcast and gives some very good and vital information on Korea, and I highly recommend that channel. A lot more information than I can give you, and I can give you good bit of information, but Korea in the World does a much better job. So anyways, hope everyone's doing well. Take care. God bless them. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.